Hi, boys and girls. It's Mr. Yates today, and we're going to go over the answers to the Tuesday Spiral Math for Tuesday, April 21st. I've written them all down because I did this video originally and it froze, so I'm redoing it again. So we'll just go quickly through all the stuff that I wrote down. We'll go ahead and move on up here to the very first one for number one, which is the number in standard form. And I'm going to get to the video, or to the right part here. First question was, what is 9,725 written in standard form? And here you go. The number in standard form is 9,725. Make sure you're writing standard and form inside your answer sentence, and make sure that you write the comma between the 9 and the 7. We'll move on down to the next one. Isabel drew this rectangle. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? There was a pro tip I put in this one, and remember that the perimeter is what is around. You're measuring the length of around the rectangle, not the area. We're so used to using area, and we haven't really talked about perimeter since 4th grade. So I just want to remind you what perimeter was. It's all the way around. That meant that you add the 1 5/10 twice to get the left side and the right side of this. So you're also talking about this side also being 1 5/10 inches long. And you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. You're going to take the 2 25/100 and you're going to add that to 2 25/100 on the top. And by adding them together, you're going to get 3 inches plus 4 5/10 inches. Added together, you're going to get 5 50/100, which is the same as saying 7 5/10 inches. Make sure you use the word perimeter in here. You don't need a little 2 or a 3 exponent because we're talking about just perimeter, and that does not need an exponent. Make sure you also have the word rectangle in there. And then you're good to go. For number 3, we're going to be talking about Tomas. He ordered a meal that cost $7, and I'm going to get rid of that arrow. Almost ready again. Tomas orders a meal that costs $7.89. Lisa's meals cost $9.05. About how much is the combined cost of the meals? And I want to say that the biggest and most important thing here is the word about, because about means that you're going to be estimating. So make sure that you pay close attention to that word about. I underlined it here too. About, and you're going to be just basically rounding. You're going to take $7.89 and round it up to $8. You're going to take $9.05 and leave it alone and round it to $9. That'll get you 17 total dollars. So the combined cost of their meals is about $17. Make sure you use a dollar sign here at the for your unit of measurement. Next, we're going to be going down to number 4. Number 4, we are going to talk about Ty, and Ty has 2 pieces of wood. Ty has a piece of wood that is 1 yard 9 inches long and one that's 44 inches long. We're comparing the two. In order to do that, I converted the 1 yard and 9 inches to inches. 1 yard is equal to 36 inches. I added that to the 9 inches that are already existing, and I got 45 total inches. So 1 yard, 9 inches is the same as 45 inches, which is going to mean that it is greater than 44 inches. Let's move on to number 5. On number 5, we converted a decimal, or we converted a fraction into a decimal. In this case, we converted the fraction 14 over 20, and we wanted to turn that into a decimal. There's a couple ways you could have done this. The way I chose was that I know that if I take and find the denominator of 10, I'll be able to make it into a decimal. I take 20 divided by 2 and get 10. Whatever I work on dividing in the bottom, I divide on the top by the same number. 14 divided by 2 equals 7. When I read this out loud, I get my decimal, 7/10. And that's what I write here, 0 and 7/10. Now I added a 0 here because some of you may have ended up by multiplying both of these by 5 and gotten 70 over 100. Now would have equaled 70/100, which is exactly the same as 7/10. They're exactly the same number, just adding a 0 to it. Either one's going to be okay. On number 6, I divided 258 divided by 42, and that is my quotient, or my divisor is 40. Dividend is Let's try that again. 258 divided by 42. will equal 6 remainder 6. I really wanted to make sure that you are showing your work here by dividing sideways and also showing me your fact bank right over here, showing me how you multiply to find this dividend. You should end up with 6 remainder 6. Make sure that you're checking for calculation errors if you did not get the same quotient as I did. We're going to move on down now to number 7. Now, number 7, the menu below shows the prices at the Lunchtime Cafe. Lucida orders a turkey sandwich and 2 fruit cups. What expression should you use to determine the cost of her meal? How I determine that is I look at the price for the turkey sandwich and I look for the price of the fruit cups. Since there's only one turkey sandwich, I have one here, one $4.50 amount, and then I have 2 fruit cups because each fruit cup is at $2.50 each, which means that I have the expression she should use to determine the cost of the meal is $4.50 plus, in parentheses, $2.50 times 2. I wrote copy error down here because in my previous video, I actually wrote this without multiplying by 2, even though I knew it was right here. So I just fixed that. That's why I put copy error there. You see the fixed version. Number 8, a survey showed that 7/15 of a class liked soccer and 2/5 of the class liked baseball. Which sport was liked less? I said that baseball was liked less, and here's why. The fraction of students that liked soccer was 7/15, just a little bit near half, and 2/5 liked baseball. So I'm going to be comparing the two fractions, 7/15 and 2/15. When I compare, I cross multiply, and here's how I do that. I took took 5 times 7, and my quotient or my product was 35. After that, what I did is I went ahead and I cross multiplied 15 times 2 and ended up with 30. Then what I can do is I can compare the two. I can compare 30 to 30, or 35 to 30, and I know that 35 is bigger than 30, which means that the larger fraction is 7/15. But remember, they're not really looking for the larger fraction. They want to know which sport was liked less. That would mean that the smaller fraction is 2/5, which is what baseball, that's a fraction of kids that like baseball. That's why baseball was liked less. Boys and girls, make sure you fill out the Spiral Math survey when you're done with this so I know that you've gotten done with it. Also tell me what kind of mistakes you made, if you made any copy errors like Mr. Yates did, or for calculations or reading errors. And make sure that you turn that in, that survey, so I'll know that you completed your Spiral Math for today. Thanks for checking your Spiral Math today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.